about it? No.
Okay, so Nat asked me if I know anything about that girl that got rabies virus a few weeks back, and naturally I said no, to piss her off. But I'm gonna learn everything about it and then have a conversation with Anna and just see how that goes.
I know Steph is plotting something against me, but I'll figure it out. I always do.
Wow, tell me more about this Lassa virus that causes rabies.
Okay, well, its common name is rabies, but its scientific name is lysovirus. What else? It's 180 nanometers long, 75 nanometers wide. It's bullet-shaped, or broad-shaped, whatever you prefer. It's unsegmented. It's an enveloped virus. Oh, and it's single-stranded RNA.
Look at this.
Is that 70,000 magnification?
Yeah, it is. How'd you know?
Where did she even get that picture?
How does Steph know that? I mean, she said she knew nothing about the rabies virus, and now all of a sudden she's an expert. In front of Anna, nonetheless.
Doesn't the genome encode for 5 proteins too?
Yeah,
I did some research myself.
okay, so then you also know that it's made up of a nucleocapsid containing nucleic acid, and that the envelope is made up of a lipid bilayer that has glycoprotein spikes.
Of course, it's also one of the viruses that survives in groups or clusters.
Nice, Anna.
Yeah, I did learn about rabies to show off. I never know what they're talking about. Now look at me having an intelligent conversation with Stephanie. Yeah, exactly.
I bet you didn't know you need an electron microscope to see the microbe. It's called electron microscopy.
I did know that, but thank you. Did you know that it survives best in saliva, so when the saliva dries up, it completely dies?
Yeah, and I read somewhere that it can be isolated through a skin biopsy.
Yep, that's true, and you can take it directly from the saliva.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure a skin biopsy is a lot more efficient than taking it from the saliva, right?
Yeah, so much better. I have no idea. I didn't research that.
Well, did you know that it can be transmitted from the saliva of an infected animal to a healthy animal?
Yeah, I did know that. And the mode of replication is polymerase stuttering.
The process by which a polymerase transcribes nucleotides over time without progressing further on the mRNA chain.
The glycoprotein is obviously no doubt the most important factor. I mean, everyone knows that. It helps the virus bind to the virus's membrane and fuse with it to begin replication, which is the goal for the virus.
Okay, the most important virulence factor has to be the envelope. I mean, when you really think about it, what does it do? It protects the virus from any attacks from the immune system, and it's camouflaged with the host cells, tissues, and all this other stuff in order to protect it. Without that, the virus wouldn't even exist. Not to mention the fact that it has virus neutralizing antibodies. I mean, come on. Gotta be the most important.
What I'm sure they didn't mention is that the genome is the information that the viruses use in order to replicate and cause disease in the host cell. So without the genome, there will be no genetic information and therefore no way for the virus to continue replicating and getting other people sick.
Exactly. Hey guys, I don't feel too well. We're busy.
Okay, no,
because it's like I was telling you.
no, exactly. But listen, the symptoms of someone who has rabies virus are fever, headache, nausea, vomiting, agitation, anxiety, confusion, hyperventilating, insomnia, hallucinations, and partial paralysis.
Right, and it's transmitted through direct contact.
Direct contact?
Yeah, like open wounds, the nose, the mouth, mucous membranes.
I knew that.
Right.
Okay, well, the only way for it to be transmitted is if there are reservoirs like raccoons, skunks, bats, foxes even.
Well, yeah, but those are just wild reservoirs. What if there's dogs, cats, cattle? And that's probably why they're advised to get vaccines all the time and prevent a lot of people from getting sick.
Or maybe just limit the contact you have with wild animals.
That's a given, Nat. But
Okay, wait. What are the treatments for it then?
Well, I mean, there really aren't any effective treatments besides vaccinations.
I mean, there's a fast-acting shot called PUP, and there are a series of vaccinations you can get.
I mean, yeah, there's 2 injections in 3 days overall. Rabies is pretty fatal. I mean, there's no prognosis.
Why do you know all this?
I think the real question is, how did rabies even start?
That's a pretty good question.
Before colonization, rabies in Native American dogs were absent or they were rarely infected until Europeans came with European dogs, and the marked expansion of the dog population provided ideal conditions for the flourishing of canine rabies. The disproportionate health impact of the RABLV compared to other lysovirus species is primarily due to its successful establishment in domestic dogs and multiple species of terrestrial mesocarnivores. And the last outbreak was from 1998 to 2003 in Indonesia. I guess we'll never know.
Hey, I don't feel so well. Please help me.
All right, I'm sorry. What's wrong?
I think I have rabies.